to unpack the needs now of communities as residents begin to pick up the pieces of their lives is Chris Hegadorn. He joins us from Paris. He's a professor of global food politics at Sciences Po University and also a former executive secretary of the UN Committee on World Food Security. Welcome to the programme. Chris, the situation right now is that there's been another deadly earthquake, followed by an aftershock, in addition to the two that happened 2 weeks ago. Incredible stress, trauma. We've just been hearing about people being treated there in field hospitals. What do people need nutrition-wise right now?
Well, Maria, great to see you again. And I can only imagine the devastation and the disruption to people's lives that this earthquake has caused. An earthquake that's affected an area the size of South Korea. It is really, truly hard to imagine unless one is there. So in terms of food and nutrition, obviously, this is a question of an emergency response, of getting life-saving materials to where it's needed in an area that's been severely affected, where roads are destroyed, bridges are down, rail communications are disrupted. So the first thing is to get emergency food aid. WFP, I understand, is making appeals for donations. It has supplies have, if not run low, are running out in Syria as well as in Turkey. So for those watching, your resources are needed, your donations are needed. So getting food. But once people lives have been saved, it requires a longer term look to rebuild a system because the livestock, the animals are still in need of care. Feed has to be delivered. Food has to get to markets. Refrigerators need to be back on. So there's a huge number of things that need to be done.
And you mentioned the food aid that's sent. What is inside those packages or bags? I personally haven't seen one, but the emergency food aid that is sent, what's in it? How nutritious is it for adults and for children?
Right. Well, this is where WFP is so effective and so specialized. The food packets, right? The goal is to get as many calories into the smallest amount of food products using healthy, available food stocks. All the more reason why WFP needs to have access to food around the world without trade restrictions, without export controls. But those packets are very nutritious. Obviously you want a small package to conserve space and get as many calories and as much protein and energy into the people who need it so badly. And water, don't forget, water disruption has been enormous, not just from this earthquake, but water issues have been a serious concern all through the area. Now, with water pipes broken, with distribution systems a mess, people can survive without food longer than they can without water. So again, critical to get water to where it's needed.
Absolutely. Water essential there. Thank you so much for joining us today at TRT World. Chris Hegadorn from Sciences Po University in Paris. Thank you.